Okay, good. This is Ed Tobias, and he just wrote a book on CW, and he's going to take some time here in a minute to go over his book with you. For now, everybody knows here we've been giving code classes now for the last year and a half. I have some certificates for 4 members of the club who have passed 6 words a minute they can send and receive. I guess you're going to go ahead and read their names, Ed?
I will do that. The first one is Jim, K9AIX. Come on down. Tell me when you, I can't see that. There you go. Okay.
Stay up there so I can get your picture.
Isaac, KD9FPG. Isaac is the guy who's going to keep CW alive on the bands.
Wait, hey, come on. Don't be so quick. You've got the screen.
Yeah, you gotta move. You
There you are.
Joe's name right across
That's
your
better.
face.
I'm so sad, I'm amazed I even showed it.
Okay. Take your time.
Okay, next one, Ed.
Tony, KC9QYR.
And the last one.
And Don, KC9KZQ.
You did. Oh.
35 words a minute in no time.
Actually, he's past 40.
Did he?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I couldn't copy him.
Yeah.
From now on, we don't call him Don Chapman anymore. We call him AKA Mr. V. Okay? And I'm not going to embarrass him by telling you why we call him that. I'll let him explain sometime. Thanks, Don. Okay, you're on, Ed. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks and congratulations to the 4 new code operators. We need more, and that's why I'm glad to be here. I was surprised when I got a call from Joe saying he wanted me to talk to a club. I don't know, I'm not used to talking to clubs, but anything that I can do to encourage people to operate CW, I'm game. So here I am by the magic of Skype. I'll give all of you a chance to ask me some questions at the end of my little 2 or 3 minutes here. But first let me ask you a couple of questions, and all you have to do is raise hands, so it's not a big deal. How many of you had to learn CW to get your license? Not a whole lot, so it's fairly recent. Hands, okay. How many of you operate CW at least 25% of the time on the air? I'm hoping the new guys with the certificates are going to. How many operate CW but only with a keyboard and a code reader maybe? Okay, so I've got some converting to do here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I love CW. I got my novice license in September of 1961. It was a week after I turned 13 years old. Novice was good for a year. You had to do 5 words a minute, sending and receiving, in order to get the novice. If you wanted to advance to general class, it was 13 words a minute, 20 words a minute for an extra. I was assigned the call WV2VKK, Whiskey Victor 2 Victor Kilowatt Kilowatt. Now think about sending that with the straight key on CW. That is a fistful. In fact, I'll show you. sending that at about a third of that speed. By the time I sent it, somebody was tuned right past me on the band. But it served its purpose. I had a problem though. I lived in New York City. Now some of you will say that's a problem to begin with. If you're a ham, living in New York City is a big problem because it's an antenna problem. I was in an apartment house, lived with my folks, 13 years old, of course I lived with my folks. I wanted to operate. The only antenna I could put up was a 2-meter antenna at night where nobody could see it. I made a little dipole, I stuck it out the window of the apartment house, and I operated on 2 meters, which was the only voice band that novices were allowed to operate on. But what was I going to do about code? I improvised a little bit. The rig that I had for 2 meters was called a Gonset 3 Goonie box. It was only voice, in fact only AM. Couldn't operate CW. How was I going to get up to 13 words a minute? I got a hold of a friend who lived on the other side of the East River in Queens, who had a similar problem, and we managed to do code practice on 2 meters, even without having CWs on our rig. He used a code practice oscillator and just turned on the mic and had that in the background, as I just did. I didn't have a code practice oscillator, but I discovered that the Goonie box allowed you to monitor its audio through the headset if you were transmitting. So I took the headset, put it on the microphone. Feedback as soon as I transmitted. Hellacious feedback. I snipped one of the leads of the headset, put a key in line, and there was my CW. And that's how I advanced from 5 words a minute to 13 words a minute. Now, I never really lived in a good place for an antenna. In fact, I never had a beam, I never had a tower. I had an 18ATV vertical at one time in a townhouse for a few years, ground mounted. Most of the time I operated with a G5RV and 100 watts. Never run more than 100 watts in 55 years as a ham. That's why I operate CW, or one of the reasons why I operate CW, because it's the most efficient mode of operating. Now I'm retired. I live in a condo on the beach in Maryland, and my antenna is a little Tar Heel 75A screwdriver, which is clamped to the metal railing of my balcony. That on 100 watts. And in the past just 3 years or so, I have confirmed Monk Apollo on Mount Athos, Iran, Wanda Nova, South Cook, Rodriguez, Vanuatu, Mauritius, Lord Howe, Ascension, East Malaysia, Austral Island, several others. My DXCC confirmed is 297. Now that's over 55 years, but even so, if I had tried to do that with sideband, no way I could have done that. CW to me is also a language, and it amazes me because I've never been any good at languages. When I was in high school, it took me 4 years to get through 2 years of high school French. But CW just speaks to me and I speak to it. It's music. That's why I wrote Dits and Dolls. When I researched the little book, I found an article in QST from March of 1992, written by Dr. Dennis Ross, November 6, Delta Romeo, and he described the magic of CW, and he did it so well that I quote him in the introduction to the book, and I'm going to read a little bit of that to you because that will explain why I love CW so much. He writes, there's a special nature to communications via Morse code. At night when I wear headphones and listen to code over the shortwave radio, usually with my eyes closed, I feel that I'm communicating without talking or hearing voices. After a long day of talking to people and hearing many voices, it's a pleasant feeling. After an hour or so, and the Morse code fills my ears, I have the feeling that I'm using a more primitive part of my brain. This doesn't surprise me. Morse code is a social equalizer and a more intimate way of talking. That's why I love CW. It's the intimacy, the music, the magic of CW. My book includes some hints for you. These days, it's great to have a club that will teach you CW, but there are also free programs, computer programs that you can find which will help you increase your speed from learning level up to 40 words a minute or so if you want to go that fast. There is an academy that will help you over the air, the CW Academy, which is run by the CW Ops Club, which I mentioned in the book, and there's a list of several other resources there. I include some operating hints, how to use a CW filter, how to adjust your key, how to use your abbreviations and prosigns correctly. It's a little book. It's only 70 pages, very easy read, and I don't want to sound like a door-to-door salesman. And I wrote it not to make money because I'm certainly not going to get rich from it, neither is CQ Magazine, but because I want to spread the gospel of CW the best way I can put it. And I'm so glad that a club like Fond du Lac is doing that. So that's my little 10 minutes that I was asked to speak. If you have questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions? Go ahead, Dave.
I got a question. What's your thoughts on at one point getting the FCC to reinstitute a code?
Can you repeat that? The mic isn't picking you up.
Once you come
Can you repeat it closer?
We're gonna get him to walk up here. Hold on.
Or you can just repeat it.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right, my question was do you see in the future the ARRL and or the FCC getting back into structuring licensing via CW? I mean, because realistically, when everything else fails, CW doesn't. And the realities of digital communications are such that if you don't have a computer, you don't do digital communications. The only communication you can do digital without a computer is Morse code.
Yep, I agree with you. In fact, I mentioned in the book that with CW, if you've got a pair of wires and you can put them together, you can do Morse code without even a key. I also mentioned some of the mountain toppers, the summits along the air, guys who go up with 5 watts or 2 watts to the top of the mountain, and they wouldn't get anywhere without CW. Do I foresee it coming back as a requirement? I wish it would. I don't think there's any chance in the world that's ever going to happen, and that's too bad.
Richard, ask him if he's got a copy of the book he can hold up.
Do you have a copy of your book that you could hold up, Ed?
And how do you get it?
Oh, I was asked to tell you how you can get it. It's sold, as I mentioned, by CQ Magazine. I can give you the URL for their online store, which is store.cq-amateur-radio.com. But the easiest thing to do is just to Google Dits and Dahs, and the book will pop up. I discovered that this afternoon when I gave it a try.
Is it available on
I think it's available in some ham radio stores now as well, but the easiest way is just through the CQ online store.
Universal Radio, so.
Does ARL have it?
No. In fact, they have a similar book.
Okay.
I think mine's better, but those two, they were out first. Morse Code Operating for Amateur Radio, written by 2 friends of mine, Rob, K6RB, and Jim, N3JT, who are both founding members of the CW Ops Club. They're also members with me in the First Class CW Operators Club. They are tried and true CW people.
Hey, what's Jeff Beckner's call sign? He probably knows him. He's a CW.
Do you know, what's Jeff's
Jeff
last name?
Beckner.
Beckner?
Yeah, I think his last name is Beckner. He's done,
Jeff Beckner?
He's done all counties.
If you can tell me the call, who among us knows last names in ham radio?
Nobody.
Well, I don't think you introduced me with my call, though. You introduced me with my last name, so I've got to tell you my call, which is KR3E. And let me tell you on CW, that's a lot better than WB2BKK.
Richard,
Well, one of our members, the fellow that I was bringing up, he has worked all counties 3 times, mobile CW.
Were you able to hear that?
I love it.
Yeah, he's one of our members here. He's been a member here for probably 20 years. And I thought for sure you probably, if you heard his name or his call, you'd probably know it. I mean, he's a CW fanatic.
If there are county hunters, by the way, in the bunch, I'm in a fairly rare Maryland county, particularly for CW. If anybody needs Worcester County, Maryland, I'm your guy.
Okay, well, we used to have a big county hunter here too, Chuck, K9IA. He's now down in Florida. He was a great big county hunter here for Fond du Lac for many, many, many years. You probably worked him in your blog.
Yeah, we're down
Gene
to
Olick, too.
we're down to 2 operators now as far as field is. Jeff had a heart transplant many, many years ago, and each year he gives a little less time because of his health. And then myself, so between the 2 of us, we're trying to work the full 24 hours. We've
And I hear
got,
Isaac is going to join you this year.
what's that?
I heard that Isaac is going to join the team this year.
We're not going to tell anybody, but Isaac is our secret weapon.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
You just wait until you see our scores. Any other questions?
yeah, Richard, I got a couple of them. Ask Ed if he's good enough, if he can tell the difference between a fist operator and a computer.
Oh, he wants to know if you can tell the difference between a fist operator or a computer.
Yes, I can indeed. Most of the time, it is much easier. I do all my copying in my head, and my speed my cruising speed is usually 27, 28 words a minute. At that speed, if you have a 4-fist, it's difficult copy. A keyboard is really easy, and I can close my eyes and just drift off. And once you get into CW, you stop copying a letter at a time. You copy a word at a time, and then you go a little faster, and you're copying a number of words at a time and phrases, and that's when it really becomes fun. And there are online programs that I mentioned that you can find that will bring you up to that level off the air, and I encourage you.
Richard, like a lot of people have accents. Do code operators have little nuances that he can tell the difference between two code operators?
I think it all depends on the type key they're using, but the question was, some people have accents, and you can pick that up, of course, over the air. Can you tell the difference in people and who they are by their fists or the way they send?
Yes, not so much people who are using a paddle and a keyer, but if somebody is using a bug, I know WB6BEE without hearing his call. There are 1 or 2 others who you can recognize by the way they handle the bug. Some for better, some for worse. But yeah, most people with a hand key, particularly a bug, have a unique accent to their fist.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can go on to straight key night, and I can probably pick out, just by hearing people, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, because I can pick out their rhythm and so forth. Any other questions?
Okay. Again, I think the easiest way is to Google DITS and DAS, but the URL for the bookstore, or the CQ bookstore, is www.store dot CQ dash amateur dash radio.com.
Okay, well, thank you again, Ed. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.